headlines, National Assembly to get new minimum wage bill soon, Tinubu assures in Democracy Day speech. Protests in Abuja and Lagos over aggravated poverty level in the country. Yobe police rescue toddler from kidnappers' den. And away from Nigeria, fire in Kuwait building kills 49 foreign workers. Good evening and welcome to the news update on Trust Television. I am Aisha Salihu. President Bola Tinubu has said his government has negotiated the new minimum wage in good faith and will soon send an executive bill to the National Assembly to enshrine the agreed upon wage for the next 5 years or less. Tinubu made this known on Wednesday in his second Democracy Day speech on June 12, 2024. He assured the organized labor that an executive bill on the new national minimum wage for workers will soon be sent to the National Assembly for passage.
In this spirit, we have negotiated in good faith and with open arms with organized labor on a new national minimum wage. We shall soon send our executive bill to the National Assembly to enshrine what has been agreed upon as part of our law for the next 5 years or less. I take on this vital task without fear or favor, and I commit myself to this work until we have built a Nigeria where no man is oppressed.
Meanwhile, thousands of Lagosians took to the streets in protest against the hardship and hunger in the country as part of their Democracy Day commemoration. The protesters demanded solutions from the Tinubu administration, which they say is responsible for the current predicament in the country.
The atmosphere was charged with emotions running high as protesters voiced their discontent, reversal of policies that have exacerbated hardship and hunger among the populace. The protesters are demanding tangible change. They argue that Nigeria, with its abundant wealth in mineral resources and human capital, should be able to provide a better quality of life for its citizens.
But despite their intimidation, the fact that Nigerians, youth and workers and poor people still came out to protest is a clear indication that Nigerians are not just hungry and angry. Nigerians have also lost their fear and they are going to fight whatever the intimidation. So this is a note of warning to President Tinubu. Today's protest is a message to him. Once he continues those ruinous anti-poor policies, then the protest of Nigerians, the rage of Nigerians will very soon come to his door. Very soon.
What we are demanding from him is that policies that will relieve the masses from their hungers. And we are here today in Lagos. And I want to put this straight to the media, that one of our comrades, the national coordinator of Take It Back movement, in person of Comrade Juwon, has been arrested, kidnapped yesterday evening. Up to date, Nigerian police have denied his arrest.
The DSS, the military, they were all releasing statements. Even the time of Boko Haram and kidnapping in Kaduna, they have not released their number of statements that have been released within 24 hours. Just because you don't want people to demonstrate, people to show their grievances that they are hungry. If we are under a true democracy, the governor should be here. The president should also send his representative to be here to come and listen to the plight of the people. If you say that you are for the government of the masses, you must be able to listen to their grievances. One thing is that you cannot beat a child and also determine how the child will cry. The Tinubu regime is flogging us with koboko, and we have the audacity, we have the right, we have everything to cry the way we feel that we are being paid.
The protesters mirrored the demands of labor for better living conditions while urging the Tinubu government to fix power in Nigeria's ailing economy.
Protesters also stormed under Berger Bridge in Abuja as the country marks the 2024 Democracy Day. The protesters, few in numbers, chanted solidarity songs as they wielded placards and banners. Leader of the protesters, Decry, said the 25 years of Nigeria's democracy has aggravated the poverty level in the country.
We have decided that no matter how few we are, we will come and we will lay our grievances that the country is not working. Nigerians are generally very hungry. The economy is bad. Our legal tender, which is the naira, has grossly depreciated. And that as a nation, we need to do better. 25 years of democracy there's practically nothing to show for it except poverty and hunger and lack and economic mishaps and corruption. And we call on government at all levels, including the DSS, police, that they should go after bandits instead of criminalizing protests.
The June 12 saga had put Nigeria on a collision course, with protests reverberating across parts of the country following the annulment of what was adjudged the most free and fair election in Nigeria's history to date. In this report, Abdullahi Ahmed chronicles the key issues that shaped June 12.
Before the June 12 saga in Nigeria, the country was facing a tumultuous political landscape. The military regime led by General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida had annulled the presidential election held on June 12, 1993, which to many was regarded as free and fair. This action sparked widespread protest and unrest across the country, as many Nigerians demanded the restoration of democracy and the recognition of the election results, which had favored Chief Moshood Abiola, popularly known as MKO. The aftermath of the June 12 saga saw a period of political uncertainty and repression. General Sani Abacha seized power in a military coup and ruled with an iron fist, suppressing dissent and opposition. Chief MKO Abiola, the presumed winner of the annulled election, was arrested and detained by the military government. His incarceration symbolized the struggle for democracy and the fight against authoritarian rule in Nigeria. During this dark period, Nigeria faced international isolation and condemnation due to its human rights abuses and a lack of democratic governance. Economic sanctions were imposed, further exacerbating Nigeria's woes. The plight of political prisoners, including Chief MKO Abiola, garnered global attention, and calls for their release echoed around the world. Despite the repression, the spirit of democracy remained alive in Nigeria. Civil society organizations, human rights activists, and ordinary citizens continued to advocate for the restoration of democracy and the rule of law. The resilience of the Nigerian people in the face of adversity became a source of inspiration both domestically and internationally. The turning point came with the sudden death of General Sani Abacha in 1998, which paved the way for a transition to civilian rule. General Abdulsalami Abubakar assumed power and initiated a process of political reform, including the release of Chief MKO Abiola and the organization of new elections in the country. In 1999, Nigeria held its first democratic elections in nearly 16 years, ushering in a new era of civilian rule. The June 12 experience remains a defining moment in Nigeria's history, symbolizing the struggle for democracy and the resilience of the Nigerian people in the face of tyranny. It serves as a reminder of the importance of upholding democratic values and principles and the need to remain vigilant against any threat to democratic governance.
With another celebration of democracy, Nigerians seek to understand the significance of June 12 and the role the National Assembly has played in ensuring democracy reaches all citizens. Senator Yusuf, a member of the Ninth Assembly, addresses these questions and the public expectations. Trustee Samaracha Amushi has more.
June 12th has become a significant day in Nigeria due to its association with the country's democratic journey. Senator Yusuf of the Ninth Assembly reminded Nigerians of the importance of June 12th and their rights as citizens.
It's so significant because democracy is the rule that involves the people and by the people and for the people. Contrary, to a system of government that is dictatorship. So people have a free will to choose who they want to choose and then, observe the governance where the governance, is not to their own expectation, they change.
A senator of the 9th Assembly addressed Nigerians on the role of the National Assembly and the legislature in ensuring that the dividends of democracy reach all citizens.
Democracy is conscience, freedom of conscience. So, and the parliament is the representative of the people, and they have to carry, the burden of people as if it is their own personal, burden. And for me, I think over time, yes, we are learning to synchronize with the thinking of the people that voted, the parliament into power. So I think that is also, one of the major challenges in terms of bridging the gap of communication between those who voted people into power and those who are voted.
The senator also explained why the National Assembly has failed to effectively represent the people who voted them into office, often succumbing to the influence of the president.
I think one, the expectation of the people. Because the moment people are voted into power, the people who voted them into power, have a lot of expectation as what they should do. Yes, there might be some elements of rubber stamping because of sentiments, especially where you have majority of the people from a ruling party. They tend to favor or they tend to play along, to beat the bidding of the executive. However, it shouldn't be so, because executive is supposed to be checked by the parliament.
This year's commemoration comes amidst a series of economic challenges which has negatively impacted millions of Nigerians, with record-breaking inflation figures and soaring food prices. The legislature has been criticized for failing to adequately address the gap in the polity. Amarachi Amoshi, Trust TV News, Abuja.
As part of the 2024 Democracy Day celebrations, Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri of Adamawa State has granted clemency to 5 inmates and commuted the death sentences of 2 convicts to life imprisonment. These actions were based on the recommendation of the Advisory Committee on Prerogative of Mercy in accordance with the powers bestowed upon the governor by Section 212, subsection 1D of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended. The 5 inmates who received clemency are Ali Abdul Mohammed Koni, Hafsatu Idi at the Yola Old Correctional Center, Buba Usman May at the Numan Correctional Center, and Yusuf Ali and Babala Benson from Yola New Correctional Facility. The 2 convicts whose death sentences were commuted to life imprisonment are Usman Inowa and Joseph Eugene from the Yola New Correctional Center. According to the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Humwashi Wonosyoko, the release of the 5 inmates and the commutation of the 2 death sentences to life imprisonment will take immediate effect, as all necessary legal procedures have been completed with the correctional institutions. The Yobe State Police Command has rescued a toddler from the kidnappers' den and apprehended the gang leader. The Public Relations Officer of the command, DSP Dungus Abdul Karim, stated this in a statement issued to newsmen in Damaturu, the state capital of Yobe. He said the toddler was rescued by the police personnel from Gubja Divisional Police Headquarters while responding to a distress call. According to him, the incident happened when armed men intruded into the survivor's residence at Bungai village, Buniyadi, Gubja local government area, shooting with bow and arrow and firing guns, thereby threatened the inhabitants and forcefully whisked away the toddler Adamu Sani, aged 3 years old, to an unknown destination. The police spokesman said in the course of intensive intelligence-led operations and in collaboration with vigilante group, the kidnappers' den was discovered in Buniyadi town and aggressively raided the enclave. Dates where the gang leader Wani Yo Usman was arrested in custody of the toddler, while other syndicate members fled. Nigerians have expressed divergent views over the proposed single tenure of 6 years for the office of president and state governors and the tenure rotation between the 6 geopolitical zones. This development has already divided members of the House of Representatives. Trustee Adamu Imam reports.
A group of lawmakers in the House of Representatives is championing bills to change the tenure of the president and governors to a single term of 6 years. This proposal are part of the 6 constitutional amendment bills introduced by the lawmakers on the floor of the House. Both residents react to the move by the lawmakers.
I don't know what they mean. I don't know their intention. I don't know if that is their motive. But if this is the case, I think it's a good agitation for each of the region to have a taste of ruling the country, which I believe is quite okay because of the reasons that each of the region want to separate from one another. So if that is what will bring the succor for the country, I think it's a good agitation.
One of the alterations seeks to amend Section 3 of the Constitution to provide for the recognition of the division of Nigeria into 6 geopolitical zones to allow for equal representation and reduce the tempo of agitations across the country.
Of this 6 years, it's okay, but let's be wise and know whom we will vote for. Let's think well. Let's remove tribalism. Let's remove anything that will bring destruction in this country. Let's vote for the right person.
The lawmakers are also seeking an amendment for an independent consolidated local government council account solely superintended by local councils, while seeking long-term imprisonment for any misuse of local government funds. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
Hundreds of traders have been displaced from the popular Kantin market after Kano State government directed them to vacate their temporary shops. Trust TV's correspondent Idris Jabrin reports that the traders are asking the state government to reconsider its decision or provide them with permanent place. His report.
These are temporary shops attached to Kano Eid ground where thousands of traders earn a living for years. There are at least 5,000 traders here who have been directed to vacate the premises by the Kano State government. According to these traders, they were instructed by the State Urban Planning and Development Authority to leave the area without an alternative to conduct their business dealings, leaving them in limbo. Earlier, the Kanubda had asked us to vacate this place, and we told them we are going to move our goods gradually. Unfortunately, we wake up this morning with some thugs who forced us to start removing our goods, stealing our goods. For now, we don't have any other place to continue doing our businesses, even though we are the people who vote our governor, Abba Kabir. We voted for him. We loved him. But this is where it brings us to. They have completely destroyed our lives. While protesting the government's decisions, the traders say earlier in the day, thugs were sent to force them out. The thugs who later attacked Trust TV and Daily Trust crew while filming the damages done to the traders. Well, at the moment they have damages all our goods. Some were stolen by the thugs who came here, and then for now we don't know what to do. We are just asking the governor to reconsider his decision by providing us with alternative place where we can continue doing our trade. At the moment, all the temporary shops at the Kofarmata Eid ground have been destroyed, as traders say they have lost their life savings. Idris Jubrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
We'll take it away from Nigeria now. At least 49 people were killed in Kuwait on Wednesday after a fire broke out in a building housing foreign workers. Kuwait's Deputy Prime Minister accused property owners of committing violations that contribute to such incidents. The nationalities of the deceased were not immediately disclosed by local authorities. India's ambassador visited hospitals where workers were being treated for injuries sustained in the fire. The embassy reported on social media that more than 30 Indian citizens were admitted to one hospital and at least 47 workers received treatment in various hospitals. Several Indians, including those from the southern state of Kerala, were reported to have died in the fire. Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan, in a letter to India's Foreign Minister, mentioned the death, which was shared with the press. A government agency for Keralites living outside the state reported that the Indian community in Kuwait confirmed 41 Indian deaths, including 11 from Kerala. Low-paid blue-collar workers in the Gulf often live in overcrowded accommodations. Local authorities did not disclose the type of employment the workers were engaged in, though, like other Gulf states, Kuwait relies heavily on foreign labor in industries such as construction, including workers from South and Southeast Asia. And in sports, a former Flying Eagles center back Osinachi Caleb Omubani has signed with German Bundesliga club VfL Bochum. The 21-year-old defender penned a 2-year contract with the option for an additional 1-year extension on April 12, 2024. Omubani, who was born in Ireland to Nigerian parents, has long been regarded as one of the brightest young prospects in African football. After impressing with the Flying Eagles, Nigeria's under-20 national team, Omubani has now earned the opportunity to showcase his talents on the big stage of the Bundesliga. The 6'3" versatile defender, who can play both on the center of defense and as a fullback, will now have the chance to represent either Nigeria or the Republic of Ireland at the senior international level. Both national teams have been monitoring his progress closely, and his decision on which country to pledge his allegiance to will be highly anticipated. And that concludes the news update at this hour on Trust Television. Do not forget, you can always follow us across all of our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentaries. I'm Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for your time.